I'm a little hippie, and today we're going to be talking about some of the ways that I feel reading has helped me not only grow but mature as a person. Before we get started, I want to ask if you recognize any changes that reading has made in you over time. Drop them down in the comment below. I'd love to know, um, or to get different perspectives on this phenomenon, let's call it. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. So, one of the things that I think uh, reading has helped most obviously in my life, and in practice is it's made me a better writer. I've been writing for as long as I can remember. I used to write like fan fiction when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, I think. And then I progressed when I got into high school to writing that fan fiction and actually posting it online on the website fanfiction.com.net. I don't know. I haven't been on there in years, so I don't know what the website is called anymore, but I'll post it up here on the screen so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Because if you grew up in the time that I grew up within the early 2010s, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So I used to write fan fiction. Um, and it's just something that I did as a kid to be creative and to kind of escape into my own little world. Some people, they built things like Legos or stuff like that to create their own little world. Some people play with dolls, some people play video games, and I just so happen to write. And I've been doing that for a very long time. And I have evidence of what my writing used to be like from things that I wrote on fan fiction that will never go anywhere. And I am not divulging my username because absolutely not. But yeah, I have physical evidence of the improvement in my writing and my command of the English language and the depth of my vocabulary. And, that's so cool to see, especially as someone who would always write anyway. It just kind of feels like, a natural progression. And the reason that happened in large part is because of reading. And when I think of this phenomenon, you being a really good writer, no matter what your age is, not saying that was true for me, but it was true for Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, one of the greatest novels of all time. It could probably be argued when she was 16. That's so crazy to me. And, having the imagination of conjuring up these sci-fi esque ideas, um, at such a young age. I was writing fanfic at 16. Mary Shelley was writing whole emotional arcs between father and son. And it's like, what the heck? I just I can't even imagine, and then thinking about how much reading has influenced not only my writing, but the best writers ever. I also think of some of the not so good writers, but particularly writers who I read, and I don't want to name any names, but writers who I have read, and I could tell that they were a wonderful writer, except for the fact that they don't read. And for one author in particular, she admitted that she doesn't read that much. And I'm just thinking, what a crying shame, because if you read more, you could be really good. Because I think the best authors have a certain voice, like a Stephen King, or at least I know his writing when I hear it, when I see it. If I were to pick up something and his name wasn't on it, I could probably guess that it was him. And even he said that if you're going to be a writer, you got to be a reader. Those two things go hand in hand. And that's one of the ways that writing has improved me or helped me mature. Another way it's helped me mature is through the way that I uh express myself. It's, it's easier for me to find the words to explain the way that I'm feeling. And this happens a lot when I'm working things out on my own, or when I'm writing in my journal, just trying to work through emotions that I'm feeling. And it's not just like expression outwardly, it's self expression, both outward and inward. Reading has really helped me to understand these things better, to understand these concepts better. It's made me more curious. It's made me want to ask why certain things are the way that they are, and it makes me want to understand them. And reading has empowered me to pick up books that I never would have thought that I would read back when I first started reading, because I've read some of the hardest books, I think, that, there are to read, Moby Dick being one of them. And Moby Dick is like my favorite book ever. So I'm like, if I could read that, then I could read anything. If I could read the Bible multiple times in a year, I could probably read anything, you know. And that's how I feel. If I could read Fyodor Dostoevsky and enjoy it, and not only enjoy it, but understand it as well, and that is why I enjoy it, like I can read anything. It might take me some time, but at the end of the day, you know, I can read it. I can learn it. Reading is so important. It's a very, very foundational part in pretty much all of learning. And knowing how to do it, and being really good at it and loving to do it makes learning that much easier. And that's one of the ways that I have improved as well. Um, and then my third point and my last point here is that reading has, I wouldn't say given me, but it has sharpened my empathy and my humility. Um, it has given me a much better grasp on those two things. And it's because I read so widely, I get to experience different cultures through many different perspectives, which then shapens my ability to empathize with these experiences and experiences outside of my own bubble, not just in literature, but in real life. And I think that is especially true because I love character driven stories. I love stories about a character. And even if I dislike the character, let's say with a Raskolnikov, for example, a Ahab, for example, even a Count of Monte Cristo, for example. I really liked Dante, but I didn't like the Count. Like I didn't like him at all. But I was able to empathize with these characters. I didn't love Raskolnikov as a character. I love him as a character, but I didn't get the warm and fuzzies spending time in his head. It wasn't super fun doing that. But I enjoyed the story no less. Maybe even I enjoyed the story more, and I could empathize with what he was going through. And so that extends out into real life. You know, Somehow, I don't know the mechanics of it, but I just know that it does. It extends out into real life. You become a little bit more, or at least I have become a little bit more understanding, not of people, but the reasons behind what people do. And that's very helpful in learning how to not take things personally and to empathize with people, no matter their background, essentially. And that is so important to me because one of the most important things I think in my life is being able to understand people, being able to communicate with people, being able to get my point across, and also being able to understand the point someone else is getting across, and also put myself in their shoes to kind of see where they're coming from. And reading has helped me do that when I'm able to read about characters that I don't really love that much, and still go on and enjoy the story, or read things by authors who maybe I wouldn't be the best of friends with. I don't think that I would be the best of friends with Mr. Stephen King, but I like his writing, because to me that's almost separate from the man himself. Do you know what I mean? So reading has helped me grow and mature so much as a person, and I'm so thankful for it. And I think that reading literature, and specifically like um fiction, is so important for that. So yeah, I mean, with all that being said, that is going to be the end of the video, folks. So I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good evening. And most importantly, I hope you read a good book. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.